Hey guys, it's Damien from Marketing Food Online. I hope you guys are having a great day. I wanted to pop out a really quick video, actually an answer to, an answer to a question that I got from one of my clients in regards to having a food product produced in another country and then brought into the U.S. to be sold here. Now, I personally have never, to be honest with you and up front, I've never had a company develop a food product in another country. When I first started my business, I did work with a company that did import Italian food, gourmet products that were Italian food products that I did sell for a little bit of time prior to doing what I do now. But to make a food product, I have not had that done. And there's a reason why I've actually looked into doing that, into having that done. A lot of questions will come up, and I'm going to give you a few of them to think about, just to kind of make sure that you kind of review every aspect of having a food product made somewhere else other than the U.S. and then brought to the U.S. Okay, number one, there are different government regulatory laws that are in place in different countries. Now, I'm not saying that other countries have lower grade standards of food production. That's not it at all. Just be aware that they do have different laws and requirements for food products, okay? So if you're having a food product that is being made and it's a perishable food product and it has the potential to have a minimal or very small expiration date, keep in mind wherever it is that you're having it produced, there is a transit time that would be the importing of the product back to the U.S. Or actually here to the U.S. So if you have a food product that has a couple of month window and it's being produced and then shipped here, there may be quite a bit of transit time to get it back through customs. You got to think about the transit time itself, and then the coming through customs and being checked at potentially being checked or looked at through customs, and then picked up from there and then brought to you. Then you have to begin to sell it. Okay, so there's a lot of time frame between the actual production time and then the time that it actually gets into the customer's hands, and there's a lot of people in between the customer and the producer of the product for you. The other thing is, you can produce a food product much cheaper in a lot of other countries, okay? But you got to keep in mind the cost of the transit to the U.S., okay? Now, you can sit there all day long and you can have a company produce a snack item for pennies, okay? And it's a great quality item, but then it costs a fortune to have it shipped, okay? Now, you have to weigh that out, and you got to find out, from the people that are manufacturing, the companies that are manufacturing it for you, does it make sense to have them make it and then it costs you just as much money to get it here? Then you look at how much it actually costs to produce it here overall, and if it's about the same, then why would you go to another country, okay? If you can produce a product and you can create a food product, get it made and then shipped very inexpensively, and it costs you less overall to produce it in another country and get it here, well, then I would say go for it, okay? But keep in mind, again, food is different than having a private label company make, staplers, okay? I can have a company make these for pennies and ship them here, and I could not worry about the expiration date because this doesn't expire, okay? If you're making a food product and it is a beef jerky, or if it's some type of food product here, right? Okay, this has an expiration window, and you got to keep in mind, you got to ask your manufacturer, hey, look, if you make this February 1st, I need it by the middle of March, and they're not going to be able to get it to you by then. They can't guarantee it by then. Well, then you're wasting time, money, and a whole bunch of other resources that you could be making it here in the U.S. And again, you can produce it for the same amount of money, but then it's also something that you don't have to worry about in transit. Maybe something has gotten into it, how many packages break open. I mean, there's a lot to it, okay? If it's a product that has the potential to crack or break, maybe you have it in a glass jar. Not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend. Now, if you're wanting to buy from a wholesaler who is importing it and you get it from them, but they're here in the U.S., that's different. That is not having your money tied up with your producer and manufacturer, and then you take the risk. So here in the U.S., there is a tremendous amount of companies that import food, okay, and bring them in on a wholesale basis, and you can get to your access to those. Now, it's not going to be obviously your food product because they're not manufacturing your food product. But if you're looking to buy it and then resell it here, that's another way that you can do it, okay? But just keep in mind that little variable. You've got food products, they've got an expiration window, and you've got transit time, you've got damaged products. So Those are big risks because you got to remember that you're investing the money up front. You're having somebody manufacture, the manufacturer's not going to make it and then wait, for you to pay them after you sell it here in the States. That's not how it works. You're going to have to pay for that up front almost all the time, okay? Not every time, and if you can find a producer who can make something without being paid, let me know because I would love to know. So I hope that kind of breaks down some variables that you need to think about. If you're going to have a food product privately labeled and made overseas and then brought back here, think about all of those factors before you make a big decision and before you invest money and time into it, okay? So I hope that helped you guys out. If it did, please do give me a big thumbs up. And again, remember, I do have a new podcast that I'm super excited about. I've got a lot of listeners that are now listening as opposed to watching my videos, and that is fantastic. Check out my podcast, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.